not Mr. Etherton. He hasn't got fluffy ears like that. What's that? Is it a bird or a plane? No, it's Superhero! Brave Brock! Now there's a big nose. Who does that belong to? And those sharp teeth? It's not the big bad wolf, is it? Superheroes! Go and find that big bad wolf. Look, there's the big bad wolf again. Oh no, the big bad wolf is trying to eat the camera. Look out.
Hello and welcome to our awesome assembly today. We hope you really enjoy this story. Coming soon.
Good morning, everybody. It's not Mr. Efferton, it's not Mr. Badger today. I'm so sorry about that. You've got me, Mrs. Bishop, but I have got a story to share with you. They've actually given me a special job. What I need to do is find a Bible superhero, somebody to share with you. And actually, when I looked through the Old Testament, I found not a superhero, but a superheroine. It's actually a female character that we're going to talk about today, and her name is Sarah. And if you forgive my terrible acting, it's been a bit of a boring few days, and I thought I'd get dressed up so that we can have some fun with her story. So I will see you back here after, but here is Sarah's story. Hello there, my name's Sarah, although I used to be known as Sarai. Things happened over the years that caused my name to change, things that were caused by the great God above. Let me tell you about it. Let me tell you my story.
Long ago, I married an honest and kind man called Abram. Abram trusted God, and because he was such a good man, God began to speak to him and make him promises. You may think it strange that God can talk to a person like this, but believe me when I say that it really was true. Because Abram trusted God, God made a promise to him that the members of his family would one day become part of a great nation. This sounded like a huge honour, and we wondered how it would happen. And one day God asked us to go on a long journey to Canaan. Now Canaan was far, far away, and we knew the journey would be hot and difficult. The journey took many days and months, and in the dusty desert it seemed to last forever. In spite of this, we didn't give up, and along the way Abram built altars made of stone to show his faith in God. These weren't like the wooden altar we see at school, but were simply boulders moved from the desert to form simple tables of worship. When we finally got there, our difficulties continued. Abram went off to fight in wars in cities where people were not making the right choices. I was worried for his safety. And when times were tough, I kept thinking back to God's promise that he would one day be the father of a great nation. I wondered how could this be, as we still had no children of our own. The years went by, and I became sad that Abram and I did not have any children. I so longed for a son or daughter, and as time went on, I thought it would never happen. However, God did not give up on me, and I never gave up on God. He continued to promise Abram that our family would one day be as numerous as the stars in the sky. As I looked up at the sky each night and counted the tiny stars above me, it was hard to believe that this could be possible. But I trusted God, so I believed it in my heart. My faith kept me going through all those long and lonely years. And one day, a long time later, when I had almost given up hope, God promised us that I would have a son and his name would be Isaac. Can you imagine how excited I was? Finally, all my prayers for a child of my own were going to be answered. To show that he really meant it to happen, God even changed our names. Abram was now to be called Abraham, which means a name that is father of many, and instead of being Sarai, God told me that I should now be Sarah, the name which you call me today. In spite of all this, still nothing happened for many years. I grew older and older. I turned 50, then 60, then 70 and 80, and 10 years later I became an ancient 90 years old. Can you imagine that? Older than your grandparents and great-grandparents, the kind of amazing age that not many people live to. It was at this ancient age that one day God appeared to us again, this time in the form of 3 travellers who told me again that I was going to have a baby. A baby at my age? Impossible! I laughed out loud. The idea sounded so crazy, but if you believe in God like I do, then miracles do happen. Soon after, a son was born to us, and I have never been so happy. We called him Isaac, just as God had told us to. And do you know what that name means? It means he laughs, which is just what I'd done when I thought it impossible to have a child at my age, all those times in the past. So, looking back on my story, I'm glad that I never gave up. I'm glad that I trusted God through all the long years of the journeys, the wars, and waiting for a child of my own. Because my son Isaac actually went on to have a son called Jacob, and he became the leader of the 12 tribes of Israel. So children, next time something takes a long time or is really difficult, don't forget me, the superheroine Sarah, and remember that if you have faith and patience and trust in God, that miracles can happen. Hello everybody, it's back to me again. I hope you enjoyed the story of Sarah, and I hope that maybe it's made you think about the fact that when times are tough and things don't always go according to plan, or they take longer than you thought they would, that actually if you have faith and you have trust in God, that actually things do go well in the end and miracles can happen. So during this long period of lockdown, just remember to stay positive, stay strong, and we will all be together soon. Let's finish with a prayer, hands together, eyes closed. Dear Lord, please bless everybody during the period of lockdown. Please help us to be tough tortoises and remember to be patient during these difficult times. Help us to be strong and not to give up hope. Bless everybody and keep them safe. Amen. Lovely to see you all, and I hope to be back maybe with another assembly another time. I'll have to ask Mr. Badger if that would be okay. Bye everybody.
Thank you, Mrs. Bishop, for a wonderful assembly all about Sarah, the miracle mother. What an amazing story. Wasn't that incredible? And I will tell Mr. Everton that it was a brilliant, amazing, awesome assembly.
Do you recognise this superheroine? Yes, it's Mrs. Westcott. Mrs. Westcott has made a square for a patchwork throw. It says St. Nicholas and St. Mary's School. Awesome Assemblies! And it's got Mr. Badger in the middle. Isn't it awesome? This is part of a project, A Stitch in Our Time. Help make a piece of history in the form of a patchwork throw with the Shoreham by Sea Community Sewing Project, A Stitch in Our Time. Here are all the instructions that you need to make your own square and further information. But just look at this square. It is just totally awesome. It's even got Mr. Badger's footprint on it. How did you do that, Mr. Badger?
Hello everyone! Over the Easter holidays I volunteered to make uniforms for doctors and nurses called scrubs. When I'm sewing them I use my sewing machine here to join the fabric together and this overlocker to make sure the fabric doesn't fray. Here I'm overlocking the edge of the fabric so it looks like this and it won't fray. Here I'm going to sew the waistband onto the trousers. It's quite tricky sewing one-handed. The overlocker has a blade inside it that cuts the edge of the fabric off to make it really neat. Here I'm sewing the pocket onto the front of the top. There you go.
Look, here are some scrubs that she has made. They're amazing for the doctors and nurses. Superheroes! Coming soon on Awesome Assemblies! Mr. Badger, we've got the sand light box from school. What picture shall we do? So, if we've got 12 little people here, what superhero shall we do about? Do you like their eyes? So which superhero do you think I'm going to do next? What a lovely squirrely whirly coat. What country do you think our superhero will be in? Hope to see you soon for our next Awesome Assembly!